Hey, what's up and hello, it's Kim here and welcome back to my channel. We are in Florence, Italy, and we are so excited and ready to start touring. Day one in Florence. We actually flew in from Paris this morning, so we decided to have a chill day and just walk around, take in the sights. We had a delicious lunch at Trattoria Di Garibardi, and I had a pumpkin tortellini that was honestly my favorite meal of the entire trip. It was so delicious. Then we kept walking around the town and saw some live music, which was so beautiful. The weather was amazing this day, and everyone was just out and about enjoying Florence. We booked a last-minute tour at the Leonardo da Vinci Interactive Museum. We had a good time here. It's definitely family and kid-friendly, but we also enjoyed reading about all of Leonardo's inventions, and he was just such a genius. It was a really fun and cool time. We ended the day with dinner at Trattoria Da Guido and just had some pizza and some wild boar pasta, which was incredible. Good morning, guys. It's another day. We are doing a few museum tours here in the city of Florence. Our first stop is the Uffizi Gallery, and after that we are doing the Duomo, which is the huge cathedral kind of like in the middle of the city. It's beautiful, so we're going to do a tour there. I think go up to the dome at the top too, and after that, I don't know. Uffizi Gallery is a very famous museum known for its outstanding collections of ancient sculptures and paintings from Michelangelo, Da Vinci, and many others. We booked a private tour with Get Your Guide, which I linked in the description, for $142 for 2 people, which included entrance tickets, headsets for the tour, and gave us access to skip the line, which saves a lot of time getting into the museum. Plus, if you get there earlier, it's less crowded. We were in a small group of 6 to 8 people, and our guide showed us all the main pieces and explained the history very well within 2 hours. Next, we booked the Opera del Duomo Museum guided tour for $129 for 2 people. Again, using Get Your Guide, of course. This tour is a huge bang for your buck because it includes access to the Opera del Duomo Museum, the cathedral, and the baptistry for 72 hours. So if you're in Florence for a few days, this pass is perfect to give you enough time to visit all the attractions within 3 days. The tour of the museum was an hour long, and our guide walked us through and explained almost every piece of art they had, which was so helpful. Then we went to the cathedral, which is a short walk from the museum, and honestly, there's not much to see inside. The outside is much prettier, but it is a very large cathedral, and you can go to the top of the dome with additional ticket purchase. Then we went to the baptistry, and it's a very small structure compared to the others in Florence, but this is where baptisms were held just steps away from the cathedral back in the day. The idea was if you wanted to go to church but weren't baptized, you could do it at the baptistry and essentially cleanse your sins before going into the cathedral. The cathedral and baptistry were not guided, and we were able to explore at our own pace. After we did the Uffizi Gallery this morning, we went over to the Opera Duomo, which is a small museum across from the big Duomo cathedral, and then we went into the actual cathedral and we did the baptistry, and then now we're in the bell tower and it's about 6 o'clock, so the sun is starting to set. It feels beautiful out here, and I'm going to show you all the view. Also, I forgot to mention with the Get Your Guide that we booked earlier this day, that included ticket for the museum, the cathedral, and the baptistry. It also included access to the bell tower, which you see here. We decided to go at sunset, which I highly recommend. There was far less people, and the view was beautiful, and the weather was much cooler with the sun setting. Update. We thought we were at the top, and it turns out there was 400 steps, and we stopped at the first stop. I don't know if that makes sense. Then you go up another few flight of stairs and there's a bell, so we thought that was the top. No. Then you go up another stairway, and it's even more narrow, and now I think we're at the top. I really hope so, because I just googled it and it's 398 steps, so yeah, we are pretty beat. We're in good shape. It was just very steep, and it just kept going and going, and there's a lot of people going up and down, so yeah, definitely got to take a breather in between the levels for sure. Well, we finally made it to the top of the bell tower. It was about 400 stairs, and it was definitely worth it. The view was amazing. We were so high up, and we could see all of Florence. Honestly, I was a little bit scared because of how high up we were, and it was incredibly windy that night, but it was a really nice view, and she looks so beautiful. I can't believe we went all the way to the top. Definitely worth it. Then we went out for dinner and we went to a recommended pizza spot that is from Napoli Pizza. And you know how they are with their soccer. There was stuff of Maradona everywhere. So my husband was very happy seeing all of the soccer memorabilia. But the pizza did not disappoint and the pasta was even better. So I definitely recommend checking them out. Then, of course, we got some gelato because what else is there to do in Florence and Italy? That is all you do is eat gelato. Good morning. Today is our last day in Florence. We decided to sleep in a little bit this morning because we have been pushing through and doing so much the past week, more than a week we've been here now, and we just needed a little rest. So we skipped out on the Gallery Accademia, but we kind of knew we wouldn't be able to see everything. You could literally stay in Florence, Paris, Milan, everywhere for forever and not see everything because there's just so much art and history. But we're starting off our day here at the Bomboli Gardens, and we just went through the Palazzo Pitti, and it was beautiful, lots of cool modern art, and I highly recommend coming here. It's really big and spread out, and it kind of looks like a mini Versailles in Paris. So yeah, definitely check it out. And now we're going up to the gardens, and then we have another tour scheduled after this for a church. I think it's called Santa Croce, which is like a cross, and that's where like Michelangelo and Galileo were buried. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Here we are at the entrance of Pitti Palace. We bought our entrance tickets through Get Your Guide as well for $49 for 2 people. This was not a guided tour, so we were able to walk around for as long as we wanted and explore the museum at our own pace. There are quite a few exhibits, a cafe, and the Bomboli Gardens to check out here. Pitti Palace is one of Florence's largest architectural monuments, which houses many Renaissance paintings and modern art, which we had yet to see in Italy. I love the art we saw in the palace, and the use of color in every room is so beautiful. This museum reminds me of Versailles in Paris, just not as grand of course, but the chandeliers and paintings on the ceiling were stunning. Unfortunately, our tickets didn't include access to the Bomboli Gardens, but from what we've heard, it's a very pretty park, and I wish we could have walked through or enjoyed a picnic outside. Hopefully, on our next trip to Italy, we'll be able to come back and enjoy the gardens on a nice spring day. One of the best things we definitely took advantage of is the free water in the city. Be sure to bring a reusable bottle with you so you can fill up throughout the day and not have to spend money buying water. We had a little time until our next tour, so we walked around town and grabbed a quick bite to eat. The last tour we had scheduled was at the Santa Croce Church, and we paid $107 for 2 people, and this was a guided tour. We love doing guided tours because it makes seeing the museum so much easier, and we actually have someone teaching us about the art and history of Florence rather than reading plaques on the wall, which isn't very interactive. Santa Croce is the church where Galileo, Michelangelo, Machiavelli, and many others were buried. We had an hour-long tour at the church, then decided last minute to visit the Galileo Museum, which was a short walk away. We were able to buy tickets at the office in the museum very easily, as there wasn't a line and it was about an hour and a half before they closed. We had plenty of time to walk through the entire museum, which wasn't too big. I believe it was 2 floors, so we enjoyed our time there and didn't feel rushed. Our last night in Florence happened to be the day before Easter Sunday, so we saw a parade outside of the Duomo as we were walking to find a restaurant to eat dinner. We stumbled upon the cutest place called La Piazzetta di Lorenzo and loved our pastas. Then we walked around the city once more and grabbed some gelato at Venchi, which we hadn't been to yet, and it actually was so delicious, and that was our last dessert in Florence. Alright guys, it'll be kind of loud here, but this is the end of the line. We are about to hop on a train to Milan. I hope you enjoyed our Florence video. Be sure to like if you found this useful and enjoyed watching, and subscribe so you can stick around for more videos. Thanks and bye!